You got me running, shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Raise your hands up, raise them up. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to the After Dark Relationship Show. I am Yvonne Michelle and I am your host this evening. We have been talking about sex. Yes, we have. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about sex. Now, last week we had a very interesting conversation about sex. And this week we're going to carry on with the conversation. This week we are going to be looking at the women specifically. Some comments were made last week that some women are like an ironing board. And so we want to explore that a little bit more in terms of women taking more control in the bedroom, more control in the relationship, women taking control. Are men actually happy with this? Is it something that they really, really want? And if it is, what does it actually look like? What are the qualities that they are looking for in a woman to perform even in the bedroom? As we go along throughout the weeks, we are going to be going deeper and deeper into the subject. And we are going to be looking at things like sex toys, how to enhance your sex life. But this week, we are looking at the women and we are asking, we're going to ask the men a little bit later on in the show, how much they would want their woman, their lady, their wife, their partner to take more of a dominant role within the relationship. Now, this conversation, I know, is going to be like fire. I know it already. You know it. So before you do anything, go and get yourself a drink. Go and get yourself a slice of cake. Go and do something, make yourself really comfortable. Get on social media and share. Do not keep this show to yourself, but share it with your friends, with your family, even your frenemies. Share. And without further ado, we're going to get on with the show. As I said, so without further ado, I'm going to bring in some of the women if they are in the green room. So, who do we have in the green room this evening as part of our panel? Okay, so we have our special guest. We have Chastity Chandler. She's a relationship and sex therapist. I'm so excited to meet you, Chastity. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm better now.
I'm glad to hear it. So, Chastity, let me just read out who you are because I think that makes it easier, and then we can go into a bit more about the show. So, Chastity, you are a licensed mental health counselor, certified sex therapist, and a certified prepare, enrich facilitator and trainer for dating, marital, and premarital couples. So you are a perfect candidate to be our expert tonight. Okay, so Chastity has several other certifications to meet the needs of those she serves. Chastity is a CEO of Center of Sexual Health and Wellness, LLC, where she specializes in working with children, teenagers, and adults on a general mental health trauma, sexual issues, and substance abuse. At the end of the program, remind me to put you in touch with somebody over this side that does similar stuff to you, okay?
Absolutely. Love it.
Okay. As I'm going through this, she works extensively with the LGBTQ plus community, and she does a lot of work with couples in the area of communication, conflict resolution, increasing intimacy and passion in their relationships, as well as infidelity and more. Now, Chastity has over 18 years experience in helping in this field, and you are a professional member of several organizations in the field of helping, and you're a three-time author as well, a best-selling author, anthology, Sex After Divorce.
Been there, done that, and had the orgasm to prove
Oh,
it.
hey girl, and had the orgasm as
The name
well.
of the book. That's the name of the book.
Boom. Yes. Well, I'm sure we're going to be talking about lots of orgasms this evening. It did come up in last week's conversation, and you were on the show last week in our Facebook community.
I
So how did
thoroughly
you
enjoyed
how
it.
did you find that? How did you
It
find that?
was it was rather interesting. It was there was laughs, there was some non-laughing, but I really enjoyed it. I love the diversity of the panel. I also loved at the end how even though everybody didn't agree and didn't see eye
Mm-hmm.
to eye, it was still able to be brought back together in a way. But I also think being able to show that men and women we are very different, right? We're very
Yes.
different creatures. We communicate differently. We comprehend communication differently, and we see relationships differently. And so I think last week's show really highlighted that, and I really appreciated all the panel and all the different views. And I just can't wait for tonight's show.
Yes, yes, yes. I can't wait. So, Chastity, this week we're talking specifically, we're kind of targeting the women. As you would have heard last week, a comment was made that there are some women who are like ironing boards.
Yeah, I heard that.
Mm. And so we want to explore this a little bit more. And also, we want to talk about women taking more of the dominant role in the bedroom. Now, last week, some of the guys were like, yeah, 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 that's what they want. But we want to understand exactly what they want. We want to understand because, as you said, we think differently. We
Yeah. See,
process things.
I didn't even hear them say that they wanted a woman to take more control. It sounded like to me what I understood it to be is they want a woman to have a more active role. They don't want quote unquote a pillow princess as they put it, a ironing board. They want a
Hmm.
woman that's engaged in the actual act of
Hmm.
intercourse and sex and actually wanting to be there. But I'm sure we'll get into that later in the show.
Well, we're going to go a little bit deeper than just being there and being active. We're going into the a little bit more dominant role
Yeah.
within. Yes, we want to explore that this evening. So, do we have any of the other females that are panel members in the green room? Have any arrived? Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce our males. We're going to do it the reverse way around because I was going to introduce the men after, but I'm going to bring them in and we're going to talk about their expectations and then we will bring the women in. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in Tony. Hi, Tony. How you doing?
Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Chastity. Hi, everybody listening in. I'm doing well, thank you.
Looking very well, Tony. Thank you for being here. And who else? Do we have Kelly on? Is Kelly on here? Hey,
Yeah, I
Kels, how
hope
you
you
doing?
can hear me. I'm
Yeah,
good,
we
thank
can
you.
hear
Hello,
you.
guys.
Great. Good to see you. Good to because we lost you last week, but hopefully we get to keep you this week.
Yeah,
Yeah, great. Okay, and is Theo? Theo should be in the green room as well. Have we got Theo? Hey, Theo, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How's everybody?
Good. And okay, is Herbie here yet or not? No? Right. So we're going to crack on with the show as we've got the men in the room. So, as you would have heard me talking about this, guys, what I wanted to do was actually get the women to talk and talk their truth in regards to their activities in the bedroom. But what we're going to do it the reverse. So we heard a lot last week. We heard about the ironing board. Do you know how much comments, how many people have messaged about this ironing board situation, guys? Right. So, so we want to kind of go into and dive into what men really want and how dominant would you prefer your lady partner to be. All right, so I'm gonna start. Normally I start with Tony. He's got big smile, but I'm gonna start with Kelly on this week. We're gonna come to Kelly on, then we're gonna go to Tony, and then we'll go to Theo. So Kelly on, come in and tell us how you what you think about the woman's involvement in the bedroom.
Okay, let me behave.
No, don't behave. No, don't. Don't.
Don't behave. Yeah. I think there needs to be a balance, because obviously both want to give pleasure. I would definitely like a woman to do her part in the bedroom, because sometimes it does come across as though they want us to do all the work, and by the time we do get in the bedroom, we've already exhausted ourselves by just trying to please. If it's the date, if it's getting the flowers, you know all that stuff. You know what I mean? We by the time it's the end of the night, we kind of, even though the adrenaline's running, we still would like to feel as though they appreciate what we've done. And I have no issue with a lady being on top, so to speak. I enjoy that. I do enjoy being dominant. I know there was, I think both Tony and Theo were like, yeah, she can. I don't think the word dominate, but yeah, she can take control, and yeah, that's all good. But I personally like to, take control myself personally. But there's times when you just feel, just hand it over to her. Please, can you, do the work now, so to speak. But it's a to and fro thing, really. So yeah, I don't have an issue with a woman taking control as such, but I do appreciate doing it.
Okay, thank you, Kellyon. So you like to be the person in control predominantly, would you say? Or am I putting words in your
would
mouth?
say, no, not as such. I think even a woman enjoys it, that a man just being dominant. I think it's just it's hereditary. She wants to be chased. She likes to be chased. And as I think Karen said last week, Karen's a very strong woman. She said that's the only time a man can actually be Top Gun. That's the only time, as far as she's concerned. It's something that she has within her to. If she's coming with, she would be happy, submissive, because there is that male energy that women do love. I think we spoke about this last week, that men do gravitate to female energy. Yes, that's very true. I love female energy, but women really need that male energy. From what I'm getting, they love it. So
but what do you love? Because we're talking specifically. Yeah, so we don't want to generalize. We want to be specific.
Okay.
And even though you may not like a part like any of the women per se to be a partner on the show, but I think it's very empowering when we talk from our own point of view and not generalize, because I think we generalize a lot on this show and we need to kind of steer away from that. So you specifically.
I just specifically love to take control, but it's a very romantic, very sweet, very sensitive, type thing. It's not this kind of huge animalistic type nature. I'm not into this whole. I think what's that? Is it B something? Can't remember what it's called. That
BDSM
that thing that
BDSM. Yeah.
Yeah, nah, it's not really my thing, to be honest. No. Is it Shades of Grey? Is it something like that? Yeah, I saw one of them, and it's like, nah, it's just, and that whole psychology thing, no, just no, not me. But I do enjoy, for me personally, being the person that is controlling it. And then, yeah, if she wants to, take over eventually, I'm cool with that. But I'm the man, you get me?
Right, you're the man. I'm gonna make a
Man.
note of that. You're the man! Exclamation mark. Okay.
I love it.
So, okay, so
Somebody's gonna get licks in up in here, boy.
okay, Tony, how are you, my darling? Tell us.
I'm good. As you said, I'm normally the first, so I think I should be the last
Well, I'm gonna
today.
put you right in the middle. I'm gonna sandwich you.
Seriously, no, I think we
Why?
should let Theo have
Why?
his
No,
say
no,
because
no.
no, let Theo have his say. I've got some
No,
I've
no,
got
throw
some
the
bombs to
bombs, throw
throw,
the bombs.
especially
No,
towards my
throw
good
the
friend
bombs.
Kellyon.
We're
So
going in order. No, no, no,
no,
no,
no,
no, no,
let
no,
Theo
no.
go.
I've
Let
asked
Theo
you to
go.
go. So that's what we're gonna do. Right? That's what we're
Oh
gonna do.
man.
We're gonna follow how it goes.
All right.
Way to
So
take control, Yvonne.
Throw the bombs, Tony. Throw
Throw
the
the
bombs,
bombs.
man. You know I
Because
got
we
the
are
bombs.
talking
I got your back. Throw the bombs,
because you
bro.
gotta think we are talking about women being dominant and taking control today. So I am taking
yeah.
control of my show. Okay.
So I want to directly
Throw a bomb.
respond to my young learned friend Kellyon because he is younger. The comment about being exhausted by the pre-play, that's an experience thing, my brother. If you're anything like me, you know you don't expend your energies in the pre-play. So buying flowers does not expend energy. Going out to dinner does not expend energy. However, if you're going out to dance, if you're going roller skating, if you're going in the park to play football, just realize you need to have your energy. So make sure that you take your Lucozade or your Nutriment or whatever it is that you need to ensure that you have the energy come the time when it's required. So that's number one. Don't get exhausted by the pre-play. Yeah, always have your energies up, which I think is my secret because I always have the energy. Number two, Kels was talking about BDSM, and it's a no thank you from
Has this
Kels.
become the Kel show or something?
No,
Has this
I
just
just
become the Kel
responded
show?
directly to your 2 points, brother. I love you still like cooked food, so don't worry, I'm not killing you. But I'm just giving it from my
Oh,
point
don't
of
worry.
view because,
I'll be listening. I'll be listening to
you
you.
know,
I have a comeback. So when you're ready.
we don't have to agree on anything, Kels. Listen, we don't have to sleep together. So therefore, what I do in the bed is nothing compared to what you do in the bed. But I'm just laying it out how I see it. Yeah. The BDSM is essentially a lot of components. Yeah. If you take every single letter out of it. Yeah. So to completely write off BDSM says that you don't involve yourself in any kind of that play. However, if you involve yourself in any single one of those four, don't mean to say you have to do all four to be into BDSM. You just have to be into one. Yeah. So if you're into one and I'm into one, yeah, then you can call yourself a person who appreciates BDSM for what it is. Yeah. As I said, you don't have to take all of them. Yeah. If you like a woman biting on your nipples, that's BDSM. Yeah. If you also like to chew on a woman's nipples, that could be considered BDSM. Yeah. To that point, and what I like in a woman, which I think is directly your question, Yvonne, I'm going to say this sentence. A queen in the streets a freak in the sheets. Want me to
Okay,
repeat it?
you can if you want.
Okay. A queen in the streets, a freak in the sheets.
And that's your
That's what I like.
that's your
However,
viewpoint.
and
Oh, there's a
I
however.
want to
Okay.
caveat that, because what tends to happen is whenever I say something that slightly controversial, everybody thinks, oh, Tony's always, it's all he does is BDSM. Every night BDSM, he's 4 hour a night. He's da, da, da. I don't have to do that all the time. However, occasionally I like to switch it up. Yeah. And in terms of our conversation tonight about the woman and taking control, then that's where the freak comes out. Because you know what? If you want to be that kind of woman, yeah, I will involve myself in some of your skullduggery. Let's call it that. Yeah. I will involve myself in some of a woman's pleasures.
Right.
Not all of them, but again, it's all about communication. It's about knowing, listen, there's a thing that we all have heard about, and I don't know if you guys still know it, but there's a safe word. Yeah. You do something wrong, the woman says a safe word, don't do that. Yeah. Or you talk about certain things, and this is a continuation of last week's conversation. If you're communicating correctly during the sexual act, then you can push all kind of boundaries without going too far beyond where they need to go, because she's going to say, move left, move right, go faster, go slower, stop. All these things can be used in the bedroom. And for me, I love that. Yeah, I love that. Take control, women.
Well, thank you very much. Karen Eastman says pineapples. There's a word. Oh, is that for Tony, Karen? I just have to ask. Anyway, okay, so Theo, because we're going to come back to that, because I've made some notes there, Tony. Thank you for that. Thank you for your honesty in all of that. Thank you very much. Theo, come hither.
What's the question? Do I like women to take control? Is that the question?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's all part of it, isn't it? It's a male and we're both in the room together. So if it's just one person directing, it's not this. You're both not going to get the same enjoyment. So if she takes control, I'm all for it. And whatever they want to do, I'm cool. I'm quite open when it comes to sex. So just go for it, man. I have no problem with it.
Okay, so it doesn't matter how explicit, because we're talking about taking control. We're talking
I'll give it a try once. I'm not mine.
Okay, so Theo.
I don't do the tying up though. Don't tie me up. I don't like to be. Don't tie me up. I don't like to be tied up. So that one's out. Apart from that, I'm cool. Don't be tying me up. No.
No tying up, but you're open.
Yeah, I'm open, but no. Don't tie me up.
Have you ever been tied up, Theo?
No, I don't.
So you know what it is? Saying no to something you've never actually had done. I want to make sure I'm understanding.
It's not because I wouldn't enjoy it. It's the fact that you might walk away and leave me tied up. That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
Because you were saying that you would try something once before, and then you kind of backtrack really quickly.
No, because I said even it's not because I wouldn't enjoy it. It's because you might walk off and leave me tied up.
Okay, right.
That's the only reason why. It's not because it's a position I don't like. It's the fact that you might decide, bye. And I'm like that. Naked. That's the only reason why. There's no other reason apart from that.
Okay. Thank you for that. Guys. Okay, so Matt had a comment. Can we go back to that a moment? He said something like black men and black Black women have a problem with black men leading. So, Matt, can you be more expressive on that and tell us exactly what you mean by that so that we can explore that? Because I think that's a very interesting statement. So, I just want you to back that up a little bit more, okay, so that we can come back on that one. Okay, so Theo doesn't do the tying up, doesn't do that tying up and the handcuffs, and it just should in case.
No, if I don't mind the handcuffs if I can get out quick release handcuffs. I don't mind that. I just don't want to be left there naked. That's it. That's all. I don't mind the handcuffs, as long as I can get out when I need to get out. That's it.
I don't know what I can or cannot say. I don't know what's okay in the UK,
Just
but
say
I would
it,
say
just speak.
You can say,
scared.
you can say.
I'm fearing to it scared. I mean, first of all, and I think Anita definitely hit on it, it's so much more to like BDSM and kink and all of this stuff that we're talking about than this surface level type stuff. First of all, you need to be able to trust the person that you are engaging in these things with. So hopefully, Theo, the person that you would actually have the connection and the trust
Yeah.
to tie you up isn't going to lead you there.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But I'll try it. I'll try it. I'll try it. I will try it. Don't be walking out the room too far. Don't be.
BDSM would literally be, because parts of BDSM is like restriction of being able to do things. So sometimes
I know.
sitting in that closet for 2 hours and not being able to urinate until that person tells you or whatever.
See,
But
I don't mind that.
You do all that.
I'll do all that.
Take time with him, Chastity. Take time.
I don't mind all that.
You know, can I just comment on
I'll be
that?
walking out the room while I'm in the handcuffs.
Can I
Okay.
just comment on that? Can I just comment on
Theo,
that?
Yes. Go for it, Kellyon. Kellyon wanted to come in with a comment.
Yeah. It was said. Yeah, it was said last week about watching. You know, and I love watching. I mean, watching's nice, okay, but some things, that's just it. It's just good for watching. And I'm not sure what Theo thinks, or even Tony, but some things are good to watch, and some things it's like, no, I don't want that done on me. It's just great to watch, you know. And I think that's it with the BDSM.
Can you be a bit?
I'm a
bit
voyeur,
more?
so I'm a voyeur. I'm cool.
Does that answer your question, Kellyon?
What's that?
Did that answer your question?
So what did you say, Theo?
I'm a voyeur. I'll watch. I'm a voyeur.
I hear the actual answer. I'm not sure what you said.
He said he's a voyeur.
He said he's a voyeur.
Okay.
Oh, Anita Manning says she was recently
Okay,
asked
cool.
to be somebody's dominant, and she said it was such a turn on. Just thought I'd just throw that out there. Thank you, Anita. Anita will be on in the coming weeks because Anita is also a sex therapist. So we're going to have a panel of sex therapists to answer any questions as we move through, coming towards the end of doing this series on sex. So, yes. Right. So, Theo says you're a voyeur. Kellyon says he likes to watch. Kellyon, can I just ask you, in terms of watching, because you seem to be a little bit more conservative, right? In what way, in what kind of things would be pleasurable without, I don't know, I suppose giving too much away that you don't want to give away, but what kind of acts would you say watching you would like to watch?
You know what? I'm a person that likes sexual positions, and I like stories. Yeah, I love stories. I love it where, you know, if it's a case of, I don't know, maybe a cleaner went round the house, you know, a gardener, or maybe, I don't know.
Role play. Are you talking about role play?
Stories. Role play, yeah, role play is nice. I do like role play.
Right.
You know, and the footages I've seen, I've not seen toys per se. You know, I like it when it's just two people and you know they are the toys. You know, this whole thing of getting whip and getting stick and getting this and that. Nah, man, I just you know, and then
Have
I
you?
think you know somebody was saying last week about go on.
No, no, no. I'll ask you
All right,
after.
yeah,
Go on.
yeah, someone is okay, yeah. Someone was last week about put something up man's ting, up man's backside basically. I not don't put anything on my backside either. I don't do that thing. That there's only one way out. Yeah, I think it was Tony. There is a pleasure zone. I forgot what you call it. That G spot zone in the up in our anus. I'm sure it was you, Tony. You did say it. Okay, there's that
Yeah, no,
spot that it
I
was you,
did
Tony.
say that's where the male G spot is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know.
I
That's what I'm
didn't say
saying.
that. I didn't say that's my pleasure though.
No, I never said
I
that.
just
I didn't say
explained.
it was
Yeah,
the
no,
thing.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
didn't say it
Yeah,
was the thing. I
don't
didn't
because
say.
I say something.
I didn't
Be
say the
careful
thing.
about reading my lips.
I didn't say
Tony,
you
though,
don't. Please, cool.
it beats
Tony,
it beats your elbow.
I
It
didn't
beats
say
your elbow.
your elbow. Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Only you just brought up. You brought it up. I didn't say that you said that you like it up there. I'm just. You and I agree there. Nothing. No elbow. No ankle. No toe. Nothing goes up here. You know what I'm saying? You know. So some things could just be left alone, like that can just be abandoned. Yeah. Okay. It's only the only ways out. Yeah. That's it for that entrance or exit. Sorry. Right. But yeah, I just love role plays. I love romance. I love that whole, you know, kind of, especially the foreplay and then getting into sexual act. And I love positions. You know what I mean? Just the different types of positions. Yeah, that's me. I'm not into this get toy and get stick and get hammer and get whip and I'm just not. That's not me. I don't. Yeah, no man.
Okay, so have you experienced using any kind of toy or whip or,
No,
as you put it, you know?
no, no,
No.
no. You
Okay.
see, I just. I think. I mean, the thing is that some people like to make a career out of a sexual act, like they got nothing else to do type thing. I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Like it's great to explore. Don't get me wrong, but they just want to just bring other things into, and I'm like, nah, that's a bit. Maybe because I was a good, you know, maybe a good Christian once upon a time. You know what I mean? I don't know. My mind's just not conditioned to be wacky like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
There's some
Yeah.
things I have,
Yeah. Okay.
you
And
know.
that's
A feather.
fair.
Really.
And I think that that's
Lorraine just
fair to
asked me
say. What did Lorraine ask you?
what about a feather?
What about a feather?
Okay. Listen. Yeah. Do you know just a feather? I didn't put the feather somewhere. You know. I think some things. See, women have more. No, I'm not generalizing here. For a man, there's just one part of us that we love to be touched and caressed. Yeah, I mean that's our penis and dick, right? Don't get me wrong. Other people like their armpit or their titties, their nipples licked or whatever. Yeah, okay. Some men like that thing. Yeah, right. Not to be massaged or stroked, but you know, there's one part of me that loves attention, right? Women, you know, it's certain parts of their body, if not their whole body. Okay, right? So as far as I see it, you know, any of that kind of play is on her, right? And that's cool. Yeah, a feather on me is okay. That's nice. It's jolly. It's great. That's cool. You know, I love the whole. If anything, you could put food on me and lick me up. You know what I mean? Let me lick you up and down till you say you stop. You know what I mean? We can do all that. You know what I mean? We can put on nice music, girl. You know what I'm saying? I love all that R&B stuff. If there's any toys, put on some sexy music. Do you get me? You know what I'm saying? That's me. You know what I mean? And we
Okay.
put on some ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Food, we can bring food. You know what I mean? Food can come in. Okay. You know what I mean? And we can put all over the body and lick each other up, and that's nice. Yeah. But there's all these toys things. Nah, I don't know. Nah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you, Kellyon. Thank you for your honesty. I'm just looking at the comments that are coming through. Yeah, I'm just looking at the comments, and you are a sweet boy, aren't you? Not to be anything, because you like the whole singing. You're going into the music, and you just like it nice and simple. It seems. Is that kind of right? More romantic, more
Simple. I like. Don't get me wrong. I like it rough. I like it hard. Well, on her. Well, yeah, you can say. I love the whole ruggedy stuff. I love the sweet stuff. I like to mix and match it. I'm just saying to you, just don't bring no toys into the room. That's what I'm really saying. But I mean, me's a man. Remember what I'm saying? Yeah, me's a man, and I'm unpredictable. Okay, I've had some women that said to me, "Kel, I didn't know you were like that." I'm like, yeah, no. You're calm, sweet, but in the bedroom, me assure you. I don't understand. I'm saying handstand everything. You know what I mean? Sideways, whatever comes. You know what I
handstand.
mean? But yeah, I'm
Handstand.
yeah,
Handstand.
handstand,
Okay.
yeah, handstand. Yeah,
Right.
anything.
So Lorraine is saying she would frighten you. She would frighten you. And Chastity, do you
I've seen
I'm just
listen,
reading your face
listen,
here.
listen.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
I've seen Rain I've seen Rain's videos, what she does with that pole. And why, good Lord, I mean, I would love to sit down and watch her do that, run that pole thing. You know what I'm saying? She could hurt me, you get me? You know what I'm saying? She's got some things up her sleeve, because what she does with that pole is like, damn, girl, right? Looks very soulful. A lot of melanin that she puts on that pole, you get me? So, yeah, Lorraine, if anyone that can convert me, especially with that pole, it's you. It's gone very quiet.
It got hot. It got hot up in here real quick. Did Yvonne just freeze?
Yeah,
I
I
think she
think
just
Yvonne's
froze,
frozen.
Okay.
Is Chastity frozen as
No,
well?
Chastity's mouth is moving.
Yeah,
Chastity's
she's moving, yeah.
salivating. I can
Oh,
see
okay.
the dribbles coming up. Chastity.
Chastity, can I ask you a question?
Sure, shoot for it. Go for it.
So how long have you been a sex therapist? I didn't get to hear that bit.
I have been an actual certified sex therapist for 4 years, but I've been dibbling and dabbling in adult parties and all things sex and sexuality related for over a decade.
Wow. So how does that become a job? I'm always curious to find out, how does that become a job, and
Well,
do you have to
first
train
of
for
all,
it?
I'm very, very open. I'm
Okay.
not shy in that arena, and I'm just able to hold a space for people to really show up authentically as who they are sexually. So it just came naturally. I've always been in touch with my sexual side, and people tend to gravitate and ask questions. In the States, home sex toy parties and stuff like that is a norm. I've done those, like I said, off and on for well over a decade, and it kind of just became a thing. And I decided to be a sex therapist because I wanted to help more of the LGBTQ plus population. And now my mission is for Black and Brown folks to embrace their complete and total sexual selves. And so I do a lot of work around that. I work with a lot of other experts to be able to break the stigma, the shame, the guilt that comes along with being the way we look, but not being able to have these conversations and be true to ourselves, let alone show up true and authentically in our relationships. And so, yeah, that's kind of
Wow. So can anybody be a sex therapist? So do you actually have to go through training and stuff?
okay. So first of all, in order to be a sex therapist, you got to be a therapist. So everybody that's a sex therapist is actually a
Therapist.
therapist. They are licensed as a therapist. So no, I actually have a master's degree. I spent a whole lot of other money to do a lot of other training and to get this certification. So not everybody can and not everybody should. Because see, this is the thing, and I know Yvonne is back, so I'm gonna let her take over her show. But a lot of what I'm hearing, you see my facial expressions. This is how it was last week when I was in the comments. But there is such a disconnect between what you guys like and want and what you think we like and want, and there's a huge disconnect there. First of all, and second of all, some of the closed mindedness. First of all, a person can't date me if they sexually closed minded, right? Just can't. It won't work. I can't do vanilla. I'm not saying you got to do all the things, but if you already coming in with a hard no as something as simple as BDSM, not fully knowing and understanding what it even is, let alone what it
Yeah.
would look like for us, because what it is on a grand scale and what it looks like for me and you could be totally different. But if you already
Yeah.
coming in it with negative energy and a no, it's a no for me. I just can't because I know I'm sexually liberated and I am totally secure in who I am and how I show up as a sexual being. And so, in order for me to even consider somebody to be a potential partner, I mean, you don't have to be as liberal or as liberated as I am, but I at least need you to have an open mind to at least be open to trying stuff. Because this is the
Mm-hmm.
y'all worried about her being flat, being an ironing board, and not participating. But I'm literally, and no offense to anybody, but the energy of the show, even in you guys telling us what you like, is like, ugh. Like, where's the excitement in that? You want her swinging around a pole, busting it wide open, but like, what kind of energy are you giving her to work with? With this, the wonder she's sitting there like an ironing board and don't want to participate. She's
Can
not
I can I ex- can I elaborate on the ironing board?
good for it.
The ironing board is a woman is participating, but her participation, she thinks she's doing more than she's doing. So the energy's there, she's doing, but she's literally just lying there because I don't know why. I don't know why. And I don't know. I can't explain it myself why they're there, but
Sex begins before you get in the bedroom, and I think
yeah, I know
men
that.
are
Oh,
that.
I'm into all that.
Yeah, it's
But can I just come in? Could it be that, because we're talking about how women are interacting with men from a male perspective, right? So could it be that she is following your lead and it ain't that great for her? Could it be that?
Could be.
Could that
Could
be
be.
a
Yeah.
Could be.
possibility?
Could
For
be.
sure.
It could
You
be.
know?
Definitely.
For sure.
I won't put it all on her to say that I'm the greatest. No, I'm not big headed like that. So it could be. It could
Yeah,
well be.
because for
Hope not.
I'm kind of thinking if I put myself in that situation, right? I'm really trying hard to put myself in that situation where I'm behaving like an ironing board, which is like the movement is very rigid, right? Then I would have to say that something's very wrong.
So
So it's
can I
very,
explain
very wrong.
when it happened to me, the foreplay and everything was great. That was all great. Is when we got down to actual intercourse, then it became, and I'm like, okay, something's happened. Or so I tried it another time and it was the same thing, and I thought, okay, this is just how she is, and yeah, that was enough for me. So I gave her another chance, Yvonne, not like you locked them off the first time. I gave her another chance.
Yeah, you're not going to come off of that one on me. Listen,
I gave her
no.
another chance.
Listen, I'm not giving you another chance. No, I'm not.
I gave her
I'm
another
Why?
chance and it didn't
Why
work
not,
out. So
Yvonne?
Why?
Yvonne, you need to. You remember we had this conversation many times about first appearances, first impressions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so-
You need to stop looking at that because that could
No.
be the reason why you ain't got a man.
No, that's not. No.
It
That's not the reason why I haven't
It
got a man.
could be
No,
though.
no, it's not.
I'm
I
not
know, and I
saying
know,
it is,
but I know
but I'm saying to you,
categorically.
what I'm saying
Listen,
to you,
singleness.
listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is sometimes
Go on.
you have to give a guy a second chance. Yeah, I mean, listen,
Why?
because quite often the first date is not the best date. Yeah, quite often the first sexual encounter is not the best sexual encounter. Sometimes the first kiss isn't the best kiss. Yeah. So you need to sometimes women. I'm not saying it's definitely you, Yvonne, but I'm saying this whole thing about he didn't work, he didn't perform, so he done. No, you need to go, hang on, is he a nice guy? If I liked him enough to get him in the bed the first time and he didn't perform, you know what? Let me just see how this goes, because maybe something wasn't quite right.
It wasn't quite right because clearly it wasn't right. Clearly
Okay.
it wasn't right.
So it wasn't quite right. And you never give the guy a second look. You never give him a second looking. You didn't have a conversation to say, okay, last night wasn't the best, babe, but you know, I hope you will bring your A game the next time, right? And he could turn around and he could say, yeah, babe, I was off form. I was feeling a little bit hesitant. I wasn't sure. And in all honesty, I didn't perform my best, but you know I'm bringing my A game the next time round. So this is what I'm saying, is like literally this whole thing about, you know, the first time of everything has got to be the best. Otherwise you're out the door. I'm like, come on.
Let me just come in there and let me just clarify. I never said it had to be the best. I said if a man comes to me and it's on a level of 2 pumps and a squirt, or it's on a level where he's not performing. Remember we gave the whole scenario with drinking alcohol and all these things. And I said, if you know, because everybody must be responsible for themselves, right? If you know, and as a man, as women, we know the effects of alcohol, what it has on us, right? And if you know that when you drink alcohol, it affects your libido, you cannot function well, and you know that you're taking out a young lady and that may be on the cards, then take the responsibility of not drinking.
That's ludicrous.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Ludicrous.
No, it is not. No, it is not.
Is.
To you, it is. No. Hold on. I haven't finished talking yet.
Okay.
And I let you speak.
Go ahead.
So this is how I feel. This is where I am. And it's not for you to tell me where I'm going wrong in this. This is where I am in life. I am in my 50s. And I'm not saying I've had loads of sexual partners, but I've had enough experience in life to say this. If I am with a man and he has not performed and I don't feel comfortable with it or happy about it, I am not putting myself back in that situation. Why? Because I am responsible for me, how I feel and what I want. And I know what I want. And if that's not what I want, why go back and put myself in a position for it to happen again? No,
because it might not happen the same way the first time.
Well, it might not, and then that's the risk that I take, isn't it? That's the risk that I take, and that's the measure. No, that's the measure, Tony. That's like you saying one more. That's like saying that when you meet a woman who's like an ironing board and does nothing, you're going to go back and give her another chance. Why would you do that? Why?
Of course.
Why? If she's an ironing board, she's an ironing board, isn't it?
No.
Yes. Because what did Theo say? Theo said he did it again. He went back again and it was still the same. Hold on. Theo went back and he said he did it again and she was still like an ironing board and he left it. Why put yourself in that position? Allow it. I'm done.
Go on, Theo.
That's me. I'm done.
So, especially when it comes to sex, if it's your first time, you don't know the person, it's like getting to know somebody. Remember, you move differently and all that. The connection not always going to be right. You know, you might have been with a partner for 15 years, so you know each other. Then all of a sudden you're sleeping with somebody new. It's all new, so that might have an effect. But I hear your point, Yvonne. That's how you are. But I'm just saying, I'll always give somebody another chance. So I gave her another chance. It didn't work out.
Chastity come in.
So I was just going to simply say, one of my fellow expert, Renelle E. Nelson, who is a betrayal and infidelity expert, we have a saying, and I actually have a shirt. I don't know why I didn't wear that tonight, but it says communicate before coming, right? So I think and last week, the guys were really gung-ho about the end goal is ejaculating. The end goal is having the orgasm. I think if we spend more time focusing on discussing what each other want, need, and desire when it comes to the sexual act, there won't be so much disappointment during or after the sexual act. Does that make sense? So yeah, the person may not put it down the way so and so did, as the lady had last week said, the one guy who made her come in like the 2-3 minutes and like she was gonna call him. They may not be putting it down like that, but if we've connected and we've talked about what we want, need, and desire, and while we're in the act or after the fact, we can actually have this discussion and reflect on what went well and what didn't go well, then maybe one might be more open. You know, I don't know Yvonne, so Yvonne would have to speak for herself. But I think more focus on the communication and the connection than the actual act of sex in that angle. Because if you're thinking about, I just want to ejaculate, I just want to bust a nut, and she's thinking about, because you got to understand, we don't work the same. Only 1 out of 4 women actually come or can have an orgasm vaginally, or do have an orgasm vaginally. So while you focus on stroking for 15 minutes, 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever the case may be, there takes a little bit more. Our bodies aren't built or made the way yours is. So it doesn't work that way. We're talking biologically, it just doesn't happen. So I think, are we talking about one night stands? We did it one time and bam, it wasn't good. I'm never going to meet this person again. Are we talking about somebody you were actually forming a relationship with, or you were getting to know? Like, how quickly are we jumping in the bed with somebody? I mean, no shame. Do what you do what works for you. But maybe we ought to start thinking about that, because you can't force that type of energy and connection to just happen. And it sure as hell don't happen like that for female-bodied individuals. So,
before you come in, Tony, sorry to cut you, Chastity. We are at the top of the hour, so I need to bring the women in, because we're talking. This was supposed to be the women, but it's okay. It's okay. So we're going to bring the women in. We're going to bring the women into the room now. Here we go. Hi, Faye. Hi, Kim. Hi. Hi, Michelle and Herbie. How are you doing? Right, lovely, guys. So we can open up this conversation, because we do have a couple here. And we've got Karen here. We've got Faye here. We've got Kim here. So we've got a full house tonight. I must say, ladies, you are looking absolutely stunning tonight. You show up and show out tonight. Right, so you've heard the conversation. You know, Tony, I do love you, you know.
What's up, baby?
Somebody has to.
I said I still love you, you know. We we never agree. Me and Tony very rarely agree. But let me bring the women in. I'm just saying, I still love you.
You never allow me to retort.
You will though. You'll get your time. You'll get your time. Okay. So, guys, ladies, have you heard the conversation?
Yeah.
I've only been in for half an hour, so I haven't heard all of the conversation.
Right. So basically, so if I can say that Kellyanne is very much, if I could put it this way, and correct me if I'm wrong, is very much a vanilla kind of guy, right? Yeah, vanilla kind of guy. Very standard, don't like the toys and all of that stuff. It's not any of that. Is that right, Kels? You can just nod. Yeah, I've got you right. Tony is... No, we'll come back to Tony. Theo is...
I wouldn't use the word vanilla.
What would
Theo's married.
I'm not vanilla. I'm sexually liberated. I just don't do handcuffs, man. Just don't do handcuffs.
I would say
No, you do handcuffs, just not tying up. That's what you said.
Yeah. So I think Kellyanne is vanilla. Theo is a little bit more open, but doesn't like the whole tie-up thing.
No, you're missing the point. I don't mind the tying up. Long as I can release myself when I want to be released. It's just my insecurities. That's all it is.
Right.
That's all it is. Everything else I'm cool with. I'm sexually liberated. I used to go to the parties and all that back in the day. I'm cool.
Okay, cool.
I'm cool. I'm cool when it comes to...
Theo is cool, right? So,
I just don't do this.
So should I say this then? Let me put it this way. Kellyanne is vanilla. Theo is salt and pepper,
caramel,
very seasoned. And then you've got
Tony.
Tony's a bit more Scotch bonnet.
He's
yeah. So just so we get a little bit more of understanding of the pepper, you know, he will try it. And he spoke about safe words, and he talked about BDSM, and he talked about boundaries, communication. So we kind of know that Tony is very much a Scotch bonnet man, right? Let's put it that way. Okay. So, ladies, you've heard what the men say, and we all heard last week the analogy of the woman as being an iron board, right? So today we're talking about the women taking more of a dominant role within the bedroom, and I want to see where it spills out into, if that then spills out into the relationship, or whether it remains in the bedroom. And what are the reasons why there may be the restrictions, as the men call it, the iron board syndrome, that some women may experience. Okay, so I'm going to come in, because I'm going to come in to Kim first, actually. I'm going to speak to Kim. Because I know Kim have all it for say.
Ow! Why put me on the spot like that? Oh, bloody hell. Right. Full disclaimer. So I all right. So I have been diagnosed with a pelvic floor disorder. So I have orgasms at the drop of a hat, like that. So I'm going to put that to one side so that you can actually think whatever you want to think, right? So fill in the gaps, but I will give you the thought process that I can orgasm well over 20 times. Vaginally, I am about 1 in 4, right? So just to give you a heads up. With regards to the conversation that we've had, and I wanted to ask Chastity before I forget, are you Widener? Are you from Widener Stable? You're not trained at Widener. Okay.
No, I didn't get trained at Widener. I got trained elsewhere, but I have college.
Okay, then. So I am currently in Widener, just to give you a heads up. All right. So I understood when you said don't yuck Kellyanne's yum, because I was like, that's a really Widener friend. Where'd you get that from? Okay. So, I
didn't get it from Widener, though.
Yeah. Okay. So fine. So just to give you that, I was once a submissive. So boom, Andrea, you weren't expecting that, was you? So, we took kink all the way to the extreme. So I had sustained, and am I able to really discuss this with you? Is it okay?
If you want to, yeah. If you want to,
truly open. Okay,
yeah,
so
open.
All right, fine. So it was interesting listening to Kellyanne and to Theo. Especially when Theo talked about trust and stuff like that. And then Kellyanne was talking about missionary position. Well, I sustained an injury during missionary position. And I actually had my right hip dislocated, believe it or not. I would love to see, I can't see their facial expressions because it's normally people kind of look at me like, what? But yeah, my hip was dislocated during sex. I continued to have sex. It was good, because the pain and the orgasm together was a good experience. What you may not understand is that the pathway of your brain runs on the same, the pain and orgasms run on the same pathway. So oftentimes people connect that. It wasn't intentional, because if I had known what I knew after dislocating my hip, that I was not going to be able to wear heels for 18 months, I was going to have physiotherapy for 1 year. I can't even wear the spike heel again, just broad heel. Me have to wear no. So I would not have gone through that aggravation. But that came after the dominant role being flipped. I was dominant in the beginning of the intimacy, and then I guess the situation flipped really quickly. But the guy flipped me so quickly and flipped my leg out so quickly that it broke. It popped out and popped in again. So I want you to understand that kink can go very far, and it is pain is pleasurable. I don't mind the odd spanking. Don't mind a flogging. It's not too bad. It's not uncomfortable for me, but that's my pain threshold. for other people, they may not. I think you have to really trust your partner. And I also think that with regards to intimacy and dominance, I feel like men can be physically dominant, but I feel like sometimes women can be intellectually dominant. And that when you're going into any situation, there needs to be a balance for the submissive and the dominant person, as opposed to going in for war. It's not war, it's sex. And there's like an equilibrium that you have to reach in order for the two of you to fulfill that sexual encounter. I am that person that will give the 3 chances, because I don't believe that the burden of sexual performance is on the woman. I think typically it's on the man, and that can be really, really, it can be really stressful. So once you get to know a woman and you feel comfortable with a woman, then that, sometimes that brings out a person. And I'm also I don't believe that alcohol causes people to get premature ejaculation. For some, my ex-husband Hennessy just used to give him like the longest hard on. It'd be like, oh God, like this, are we doing this today? Okay, let me make sure I get everything done. So I think it varies from person to person. That's my take on it. So there you go. Hope I haven't said too much. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
No, thank you, Kim. You've said wonderful. I'm very pleased, and thank you for being so open and so honest, because this is what this is about. So I'm going to bring in, I was going to bring in Faith, but there's Shalomi. Hello, Shalomi.
Right. Hey, Shalomi.
Nice to see you, Shalomi.
Trouble start. No.
All right. So I'm going to bring in Karen, and then Michelle and Herbie, and then we'll bring in Shalomi. So you've heard. What's your view take on it, Karen?
What's the question?
So we're talking about being dominant, more dominant. We were referring to the ironing board scenario of the female, and we're looking at, what is it? We're talking to those women who would be like an ironing board, and that would be their thing for their relationship. What do you say about that?
Sometimes I guess if people are ironing boards, it's because they got some sort of emotional, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand the ironing board mentality. I'm just speculating. Me, myself, I like to be more submissive and dominated in the bedroom, because I think I'm quite dominant and everywhere else. Unless we have a sex in the kitchen or the garden or something else, then, you have to be dominant there too. I do, like Leon said earlier, I do like the male energy, and I like to give them that space to, show themselves. But there's no way I'm going to be anybody bed pillow. No, because even in being submissive, I'm very vocal about what I like and how I like it. And yeah, I've graduated to the school of giving a second chance. And yeah, I feel quite proud of my new diploma. But yeah, so, but I do say what I got to say, because I give you the same equipment I give to everybody else. You must know how to use it. And if you don't, I'll give you a set of meeting notes and see how you get on for the next time and see what's on the agenda. That's how I roll. But in my submissive state, I am dominant still, because I must get what I need or else lose my number.
Okay, thank you for your honesty. I'm going to come over to Michelle and Herbie. What is your take as the married people of 34 years? What is your view take on this? Can't hear you. I can't hear you, Michelle. You're mute. You're muted. Oh, there we go.
Oh, hi everyone.
Hi.
Yeah. For me, I think as I've got younger, I'm more, I would say, more experimental. I can't take vibrating stuff though. That's the thing. It feels like my head is shaking, so I can't take
You have to
that.
use old batteries. That's my tip for you. Old batteries.
Ah,
Batteries are
okay.
new. They're gonna burn a hole in it. I'm telling you.
Okay. Because as you get younger, the brain, it just shakes my brain. So so yes, I think that definitely I'd like to experiment a bit more. I think Herbie's a bit more he's worried about how I might feel, even though I might say, oh, do this or do that. He feels, oh, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to, do anything that's gonna hurt me really. So sometimes that bit of frustration comes in there because I'm kind of like, just hush, man, and just do what you need to do. And he's, Michelle, you sure? Shush. It's that sort of thing. So yeah, I think for me, definitely would like to try a few more different things. Definitely, I'm up for that.
Yeah.
Herbie.
See, I've kind of grown up as a gentleman, you see. And I'm not, it's still getting around the groups of applying kind of pain, which kind of, it was not pain, but you know what I mean? Yeah, but sometimes in my head, it just seems like it's a little bit too much, like cause some kind of hurt or some harm. So I'm trying to, I'm still trying to work with it. I do enjoy it, and I do see the pleasurable side of it, but it's really something that it's to me it's a new learned behavior. It's not something that's really that I've kind of instinctively sort of picked up. It's for me it's learned. I have to learn it, but it's good. I mean, what I've done so far is it work, and it give good results.
Oh, my days. You're funny. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, got a good result, Herbie. That's great. Thank you, both of you for your input. These guys are our married couple, been married for 34 years, so they've been through many a thing and explored many a thing, I would imagine also. So I'm gonna bring in Shalomi. Shalomi, good evening. You're on silent. You're on your. That's it. Lovely.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Tony. Good evening.
Hello, beautiful. I love the eyes. You're looking lovely tonight.
Yeah,
She looks great.
my daughter did me up, so yeah. I'm up for everything except no entry through my back door. I don't mind going through nobody's back door. I'll get a strap on, and if you want me through your back door, I'll go there. But no entry through my back door, held to the nerve. That's no compromising right there. And the tie-up thing, I'll do the tie-up. I will tie you up, choke you up, strangle you up. Me? Nah. I've never seen anybody that I trust that much to tie me up. And plus, imagine tying me up and taking your thing, put it down my throat. It not gonna happen. Like, no. I will do a strap on and I'll push it down your throat and I'll do this. I'll do it. But me, as I said, there are certain things, it's abomination when it comes to moi. Anybody want to do it? They can do it. Don't get me wrong. But if the man want me on a counter, I'm there on the house top, in KFC, in McDonald's, I can do all of that. You understand? As long as the behind is off limit, yeah, that deep throat thing is off limits. I can deep throat him. I can backers him, cockers him, whatever him want. I will do it. Yeah. But on a serious note, ain't nobody tying me up, man. Now I'll do all the freakiness, but I'll leave a piss on him. But,
That's true. That's what people do. Some people do.
As long as you're at his house, though, Shalomi, you're not gonna piss on him in your yard.
Well, you know what? If his pocket is deep, you know what? He can piss anywhere. He can replace it. Yeah, if I can get a new mattress. If his pocket, let me tell you, I'm a lesbian depending who's asking. I'm bisexual depending who is asking. I'm anything depending. Just the bottom is asking, no matter who asks, right? My nature mostly is in my hand middle. So if my hand middle is well pleased, the entire body jump to attention. And this is me. You understand? So that's just me, really. So if you want to piss in my bed, of course you can buy back a mattress. So no problem with that. So no pissing in my kitchen though. That's off limit. So yeah, that's me.
Okay. Very interesting. We love you, Shlomi. I have to say, I'm so glad you're back on panel. I'm
And
so
you
glad
lot thought that I was fire with my elbow. What?
That's listen, Tony.
Tony,
when
your
you-
team. Your
when-
team, Tony.
yeah,
your
yeah,
team.
when you were talking about the elbow, we were all like, "What? What are you doing with the elbow?" But Shalomi,
You know, Shalomi-
Shalomi is very descriptive. She gives it to you just like that. A, B,
You know,
C, D.
Tony,
Shalomi, yeah,
you've been
you
done
can
grilled to jalapeno. Yeah, you've been done grilled to
I'll
jalapeno.
Who's speaking? Who's speaking? I can hear somebody speaking. Is that you, Kellyon? Is Kellyon speaking?
I think he's stopped.
Okay. Do you want to say what you were saying, Kellyon?
I think it got a little bit too hot for Kellyon's system.
My connection.
Listen, the thing is, Shalomi knows what she wants.
Come and messed up the internet for Kels.
It was me, yeah.
Yeah, your internet's
Yeah.
your
I was just saying
internet's
just
slowing.
now that Shlomi could throw her hair outside the window. I can't. That still is, you know, that the long hair girl. Throw it outside.
I missed what you were saying. I didn't hear what you
Talking
said.
about Rapunzel, I guess.
Rapunzel,
I
I
don't-
think
Your internet is coming.
Is
in
it
and
messed
out.
up again?
Yeah, it's in and out. Your internet's in and out. So we didn't.
Shalomi messed it
Right,
up, man.
so-
Shalomi
Didn't he
messed
say
it up.
something about throwing the hair out of the window?
Yeah, Shalomi
That's
messed
what I
it
heard.
up,
I
man.
didn't
Too
hear.
much fire there for Kellyon.
Yeah, Shalomi.
Shalomi
Where
did
Where is
it,
it?
man.
Where is it?
It's Shalomi's fault. You're
Shalomi
blaming it on
sizzled
Shalomi.
his 5G,
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
was.
Shalomi has
Blame it on you,
Sizzled
the
it.
Shalomi.
golden mic.
She bought
That's
the
what's happened.
AK-47.
She has the golden mic, not the golden shower, but she has the golden mic right about now. So right, Shalomi, this is yours this week. If no one else comes with lyrics like that, this is yours this week. Right. So I want to bring in our sex therapist because we've got some comments here as well. To buy Shalomi, you don't need to buy a new mattress. You could just get some rubber sheets. There's lots and lots of things going on in the Facebook thread and also on the YouTube. But I want to bring in our sex therapist, Chastity. Can we unmute Chastity? Hey. So, okay. So you've heard a real broad synopsis of different people's accounts, right? So, you know, what can you say to help some of those women who have been, who may be seen or have been called the ironing board ladies? One, what do you think could be the issue here? Could it be that actually it's not that great for them, why they're behaving that way? And then I want to kind of just go into a little bit more of the I can hear myself. Who's got their thing on? What do you think? I'm getting some feedback.
I think Shalomi, but
Shalomi, can we put you on mute? Kels, can you put
And
yourself?
Kels as well.
Can you put yourself on mute, please? Lovely. That's it. Right. So yeah. So we want to kind of unpick this whole BDSM kind of conversation for women to kind of find their power, find their place in the bedroom. We've got loads of women on the Facebook and on YouTube, as well as men. And I think this could be a really good opportunity to give out some good advice as to how they could actually improve their sex lives if they feel like they are an ironing board lady.
I think that there's many layers to this. I don't think it's as cut and dry as how we are maybe perceiving it or how it's coming across on the show.
Mm-hmm.
One thing in particular, I would say, and I think I posted it or I chimed in and I said, I would be really interested to know how we define control. Because it seems like we are equating control with BDSM and they are not mutually exclusive. They're not one and the same. But what I see as control versus what Kim sees as control versus what Theo sees as control is very subjective. So again, I think, and I know we keep saying communicate, but it is essential. Trust me, if you and your partner are not having these conversations or your partners are not having these conversations, you're probably 9 times out of 10. Remember last week's show we were talking about good sex? You're probably 9 times out of 10 not having good sex.
Mm-hmm.
You might be having sex. It might not be, and then you might think it's good. We talked about good sex, we talked about great sex, but I think if you really want pleasurable sex, then it requires a certain level of communication. And I think as far as control, it's subjective. What does that mean? Right? I know Kel said he's all about a woman being on top. You know, some people see a woman being on top as control. Others might see me being on top is where I might have my ultimate orgasm. That might be how I squirt. That might be whatever that is for me. So me being on top might not even be so much as me being in control as much as it is me getting what I need, because in any other position, maybe because of your penis size or your thrust or whatever the case may be, it may not get me there. So I think it's really about communicating. What does control look like? What do you need it to look like in our relationship or in our sexual encounters?
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to spend more time talking about what we want the sex to look like, what we need, want, and desire, than actually jumping in the bed with somebody and expecting to read our mind and pleasure our bodies. That's part of the problem,
mm-hmm.
right? We're made differently. Also, we got to learn our own bodies. The ironing board woman probably isn't enjoying that. She probably, for whatever reason, she could have sexual trauma. She could she could be having, I've dealt or done therapy with women who literally, they dissociate during sex because of past trauma. So they're not even present in the act, but they're going to do it. They'll be there because they feel like that's their duty. So it's a lot of different things that I can say about what's been said and about the comments. But there's also a lot of expectations on the woman, is what I'm hearing, when it comes to sex. Just because you're in control doesn't mean that you're even doing what we need you to do to get us there either. So I think it really is about communication, and it can be a give and a take, and it can be a balance, and it could be a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be all one thing, and control doesn't have to equate to BDSM. And kink is a part of BDSM, but they are two totally different things as well. And so one thing I would say to like sum it up and not keep going on and on is don't yuck someone else's yum. Just because it's not for you doesn't mean that they should be shamed or feel bad because that's who they are. Like, I know we laughing and we saying Kels is vanilla, but let Kels be vanilla. Let him do the vanilla thing. Kels just wouldn't be a guy that I would consider dating or being in a relationship with, because that doesn't match where I am in my own sexual liberation and my expectations in a sexual relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But I say, if you want to try something, try it. Be open and honest. Get a partner that you can trust. But I also say know your body. Know what gets you there. So many women do not know their own body, cannot orgasm on their own. They don't masturbate. Trust me, you need to know how to get yourself there in order to help your partner get you there.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Right? Masturbation is a completely normal part of our psychosexual development. We masturbate in the womb. So most of us have busted a nut in the womb before we've even breathed air on this earth. So we need to stop looking at it as such a disgusting thing. So those are the things that I would say based on what's been said right now. If we want to have more pleasurable sex, and we want to have more passionate sex, and you don't want women being iron boards, or you don't want men being two pump chumps, there's all types of things that we can do to help each other out. We can help you last longer, and we can get satisfied. You ain't got to pump us this hard and think that's going to get us there. Sometimes just being gentle and being sensual is what your partner might need. So I really think it's about communicating. I really think it's about not coming in with these preconceived notions of what we think sex is supposed to be as well. Because some of us, we got it all. What we think about and what we think is going to get the person there biologically is not possible. So we are like trying to defy physics to get this orgasm and wonder why it's not happening. So, you know, a little bit more communication and more knowledge. Pick up a book. I got a whole bunch sitting over here that I'm looking at. I can't stop buying books, but pick up a book. You know, watch porn. I prescribe porn to people. People learn different things about sex. Obviously, it's scripted. Obviously, it's not real. But there are parts and things that people can actually learn. Yes, Kim. That they can actually learn. Push it this way. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. Good.
Yes. I got a whole bunch of stuff sitting over here. But the point is, there are more of what we can do. No, we're not training freaks, Jay, but our body is our body. And if I can't touch, first of all, we look at it and we talk about kids. Like we have these conversations all the time. Parents say, when should I start talking to my kids about sex? You should start talking to your kids about sex as soon as they can talk. Age appropriate sexual information. If your kid touches themselves, guess what? It's going to feel good to them. So we have to be very careful about how we respond because we are literally traumatizing our kids to think that touching themselves is wrong. When my son touched himself and I saw him touching himself, I said, listen, that's something you do on your own time and alone. You don't do that in front of mommy, your sisters, you do it by yourself. But I didn't tell him don't touch yourself. When you touch yourself as an adult, it feels good, right? If you know how to do it and you touching yourself, right? So it's the same thing for kids. But I'm not going to feed into Jay or whoever that is. But I'm just simply saying more communication, less complaints, and like let's literally work it out. Let's solve the problem. I'm very solution focused. I'm very solution oriented. We can talk about the problem all day long. We know from last week that Black and brown women and men are not on the same page when it comes to sex, what we want, what we need, and what we desire. How can we fix that? I think we can fix that by not having our defenses up, not being judgmental, but literally holding the space and allowing each other to say, hey, I know you like this. I'm not really into that. But how can there be a compromise? Or what else can we put in it? You know, what else can we do to make sure both of us have pleasure in this situation? So that's pretty much all.
Absolutely. Thank you for that synopsis. And thank you for covering that quite negative comment that we saw there. We're not talking to children. This is past the watershed. We are in the UK and we are, Tony, I can see you. We are past the watershed and we are having a grown-up conversation. This is an adult conversation show, not one for children. So if you have an issue with that, then I suggest you go and work out what an adult is and what a child is. Okay, so then we're going to move on now. And I'm going to bring, because Tony had his hand up. So yeah, Tony, come in.
Wow and wow and wow. Thank you, Chastity. Thank you, Chastity. Thank you, Chastity. You know, every word that came out of your mouth for me was just bare scripture. It was literally just like, you know, and Kim, the same. Everything you said, Kim, was bang on point, you know. And the thing that I would like to highlight is, you know, listen, I'm a senior man. I'm 52 now. You know, women are not all the same, and you have to. It takes time to get to understand each individual woman and what she's bringing to the table. So for a man to think that he can just make a woman come on the first night, you know, what are you asking a man to do? You're asking a man to read that encyclopedia that Kim just held up and go from front to back to find your orgasm. Come on, give a guy a chance.
But that's not, can I just stop you there, Tony? But that's not a woman's thing. You guys are about busting a nut, not the female.
Okay.
Guys are about that, not the female. Right. The female is not about, it's not about that. So let me just correct you there. It's not about that.
All right.
The female.
I had a bone of contention with that. I really don't think that that would be my take on that, Yvonne. I feel like women do go for satisfaction, whether it's related to an orgasm, or whether it's related to touch, or whether it's just related to connection.
It's connection.
I wouldn't just say, well, oh, you know, I mean,
no, but the reason why, hold on, Kim, the reason why is because last week that was a general consensus of what the men said. That is not how that's so to put it in perspective, that's what they said. Men are about, that's their goal, busting a nut when they're having sex.
So
busting a nut. That's what they said. Right, that's what they said.
We're always gonna bust a nut because we're that simple. We are that simple. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of layers to a man. Yeah.
Agree.
So if a man has the right woman and she knows how to tune his, you know, the soundboard, yeah, you're gonna get multiple orgasms over and over. Which is when I turn and say to the women, them, listen, if you do that things right, you're gonna get 4 hours out of me. And 4 hours for me doesn't constitute 4 hours of, yeah, it constitutes hours of pure pleasure. Yeah, you don't have to be sitting on my dick, ramming it hard for 4 hours for me to come. Yeah, you can
Lord
take
Jesus.
it slow. Yeah, thank you, the fan.
I get a heat.
Yeah, now the thing that I'm gonna say, right? The thing that I've been waiting so long to get on the mic to say is, I'm glad Kim brought up the issue about reading books, because the one thing that I realized years ago is that the woman's clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings on it. The man's penis has less than 4,000. So you got to understand the dynamics of the physicology of a woman. Yeah. So I kind of feel like, you know what, unless you're, you know, a kind of guy of that mentality, you could be doing a disservice to your woman and to yourself ultimately. Yeah. So ultimately it's like, you know what, communication, as Chastity said, is key. As Kim said, is key. You know, and I said it last week. Women, you want to be talking to your man during, before, after. Chastity, I want to address one small point that you made about talking about the situation before it happens. Unfortunately, a lot of the time, you don't actually think it's going to happen. You might hope it happens, but a lot of the time, you're like, I wonder if I'm going to go back to her place. I wonder if she's going to come back to my place. And I know, you know, look, so if you can, in a perfect world, you can talk about all that. Am I coming back to your place? Am I staying overnight? Because I'll tell you, I love a film called Love Jones. Yeah, if you've seen Love Jones, there's a scene in that film that I almost always ends up happening. The woman ends up sleeping upstairs and the man ends up sleeping downstairs. And let's see how that works. Who's got the ability to stay away and not go upstairs or come downstairs? Go ahead.
So when I'm saying talk about it before it happens, I'm speaking from personal experience and I'm speaking from my interaction with people who are both partnered and single. And I'm simply saying, to me, if you are going to put yourself in a position or a situation where you could possibly have sex with someone, I feel like we at least need to be having those conversations already. There wouldn't be any opportunity for you to come to my house, me come to your house, or for us to get a room if we've never discussed sex. Because I have no idea what's about to happen when we go into this room. And for some, the anxiety of that alone will keep you not able to perform and not able to have the ultimate pleasure in that whole entire act. You don't know if this person is a murderer, going to tie you up and leave you like Theo is scared of, or if they know exactly all the things that you want done, and they've actually had time to now research it because you told them what you like. So now they didn't want to Google that on Pornhub.com and looking at that type of porn and say, okay, but this is what she likes. So let me make sure that when it happens, it might not happen tomorrow night, might not happen next week, but when it happens, I'm gonna be ready because that's what she said she liked, and she's gonna be impressed that I actually remembered, I listened, and then I took it a step further to make sure that that encounter happens. So then, guess what happens when that first time is amazing? We're gonna be like, what?
Oh, don't do that one, though.
And that's
Chastity,
how it's supposed
chastity.
to be.
But
Thank
hang
you
on,
for
wait,
explaining that. Thank you for
I'm going to
explaining
give you
that,
another
Chastity.
story about that one there. Because
But
one
hold on,
time I had a
Tony, because
girl, right?
Tony,
Just
Tony,
this
I'm
one
gonna
story.
no, I'm gonna cut you because
Oh,
you've had your moment. Theo's been waiting as well. So
go
Theo,
ahead.
come in with what you were gonna say.
I was going back to this earlier when we was talking about busting a nut, and there's Tony kind of covered it anyway. It's just about that's what we're gonna do as our end goal. But as I said, the foreplay and everything that leads up to it. But for a man to finish or to say he's finished is when he's busting a nut. That's all I was gonna say. So everything Chastity and Kim was saying is all great. Foreplay, whatever it may be. Foreplay to me starts from, if I'm with my wife, that starts from the day, from the daytime. If I'm spending the whole day, we're going to be having foreplay. That means me talking to her, touching her, whatever it may be. So that comes at nighttime now, we're already there. When I was a player back in the day, it started from on the phone, talking and all that kinky stuff, everything throughout the day. So when it came to nighttime now, we just go and do what we have to do. Still foreplay, doing everything else. But at the end of it is when a man's busting up. Once a man's busting up, the night's pretty much over, isn't it? Pretty much. More time, it depends. It's pretty much that's it. For that moment, that session is over. That session is over until you starting back up again. It could be 10 minutes for later, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, but that session is over for the time being. Go toilet, have a break, have whatever you need, and then you go back again. So that session is over. Why is it over? Because he's busting up. Simple. That's what I mean. I don't mean it's like, oh, that's what man's aiming for. No, that's going to be the end goal anyway. We're going to finish that way. Unless we're going to be doing 4, 5, 6 hours, the man still goes on.
The session is over. You bust a nut and the session is over.
Yeah, that time is over. You're going to have a break, Kim. Karen, so you're not going to have a break.
No,
so
you're
you're just going to carry on for free.
You have to make sure that I'm going to tell you right then if the session is over. Sorry.
Karen, can I say something?
There's
If the man's
things you can do
if the
and
man
you
has
have
come, what are you
to.
going to do? If the man has come, you can
Listen,
say it's not
but
over.
you've
It's
already
over
been
for the
told
moment.
that we don't come just from vaginal penetration. So therefore, if you've busted your nut, I hate that term.
Karen, can I say something?
Done your thing. The session is not over because you still got to do a little bit more work.
Karen, so as I said, we said last week, the woman
talking about this to a married man.
The woman, just talk to me, man. Don't worry about that. We said a woman has to come first. A woman has to come first. That's, to me, a woman doesn't come first, then it's not going to be the same. A woman has to come first. So if it takes 2 hours for her to come, then hey, we have to work the 2 hours before anything starts. However she comes, you have, that's how, if it's playing and touching and blowing in the ears, whatever floats their boat, that's what you're going to have to do, then fine. But once the guy's come, he's come, isn't it? You can say it's not over. It's not over. It's not over. He's done. He's gonna lie there going, he's down. The boy's down. Give me 5, 10 minutes to recover, but he's down for that time. You can scream and shout and holler, punch, kick, whatever. He's down, isn't it?
Ain't over.
But anyway. I think
I never said the session's over completely, but for that moment, it's over until he revives again. Simple. It's not that the night's not over, but that time is over. There's nothing you can do about it. Once he's down, he's down. Unless you're gonna raise him again.
Right. So I think. See, the thing is, I think everyone has got different perceptions in their minds of how things are, because we're all talking from different viewpoints, right? And I think to a certain degree, some women are thinking, well, if he's ejaculated. In most case scenarios, a man will have to have a bit of a break before that session rises. However, if you're talking about intercourse, most men, right, in my experience, will have an orgasm, but will not rise again straight away. It will take a few moments. But there are other things. There are other mechanisms, other variants that you can do in terms of having sex, right? So I think we have to expand our minds. So just to say this, when I say that I will not give a man another chance, The thing is, you have a period of time, as Theo said. If it hasn't worked, and you go for another session and it's still not working, and this is in the same period of time, I'm just saying, I'm not that giving then. I'm not that giving to the man to say, yeah, I'm going to go another night or another time to go through that again. Because at the end of the day, I know what I want. And
but
just
did
hold
you tell him
on.
that?
I'm going to
tell him what you want.
Yeah, because I'm very
every single detail.
Yes, because I'm very vocal, very, very vocal, Tony. I don't, when it comes to the bedroom, I don't muck about at all. So this is why I say I know who I am, I know what I like. And it's not that it's going to be a thing where I meet you today and we're in the bedroom tomorrow. No. That takes time to get there. And lots of women are like that. So you feel comfortable. We talk about things, talk about sexual preferences. Because of my preferences, it's key that I speak to a man. Absolutely. We have to have this conversation. Absolutely have to have the conversation. Before,
what I don't understand is, why didn't you show the man what he needs to do?
What do you mean, why didn't I show him?
Exactly.
You're assuming that I didn't.
So you just said that he didn't know, he didn't make you come, basically.
No, I never said that. I never said that. In anything that I've said at all, I never once said that.
Oh.
At all. That's down to your assumption. And this is my point. This is my point. You cannot assume. You got to fill it. You ask the questions and fill in the blanks. But I have never said that, ever. I've made reference to 2 pumps and a squirt, which I put out there anyway. And that's a general thing I say. And that's something that I say in terms of the show. But I've never said that at all. I've just said I'm not giving a second chance, but you don't know what the first chance consists of. Okay. So Kim, come in. And then Shalomi will come in.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, my darling.
All right. So this one's for JB. None of us are on here are sex hungry. I'm not sure where you're coming from, but I would mention that for some men, orgasm is not the goal because they can retain that element of the orgasmic cycle. So some people do just kind of, they can channel their spirit or channel their energy through themselves, and that they can have a union with the woman that they're being intimate with. So I really don't understand, if you don't like adults having a conversation about sexuality, why are you watching? Could you comment as to that? Because if it's of no interest to you, then most people who were adults would have locked off and said, this is not for me, and walked away, right? That's all I'm saying for you. But for anybody else, I think that Tantra is something, we don't talk about spirituality during sex. It's not just a physical situation. And for some people, sometimes when they meet their spiritual partner, the time is not the issue. It's the union that they have together. So, like we talk about orgasms, I have a surplus of them. They're interesting, but this is one thing. We're not talking about an orgy, JB. You're watching because you're interested. So just be honest and say that you're interested, as opposed to attacking and critiquing. That's all you got to do, mate. Just be honest. Okay? That's really all.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For that. I'm putting that in. Couldn't have put it better myself. Shalomi, come in for me.
Yeah, I was listening, is it Chastity? And to be honest about life, I can talk about Jamaican because I am from Jamaica. When it comes to sex, nobody wanna address sex or talk about sex unless they're either having sex. Growing up, it was bam, scram, might be next time, madam. Well, what that did to me was had Dora exploring, because Dora wasn't satisfied. Have 2 children, didn't have a clue what a climax was. Until one fine day I met this man and oral sex, and he sent me to heaven, right? My spirit left my body and I went to heaven to visit, and I came back, right? Because most people live their life don't even know what an orgasm is. And that's why most Jamaican women give bun, because they're not satisfied. You understand? There is no satisfaction. There's just something missing. And Dora go exploring here, there, and everywhere because sex is not taught in school. One little stick man teacher would tell you best sex is no sex. You're going to give bun because you're not satisfied. My son, I tell my son, do not let another man eat away your woman. That would be your problem. Learn to nyam if it's that to keep your woman. Hey, oh, I'm one of the freaks now. I become a freak and outsider because I need a come. You can't talk about it. Me ask my mom the other day, Mommy, nobody ever go down on you? You want 2 bucks in there, you dirty mouth, and now you dirty. And you understand? Because they don't know them, there's something they probably never have a climax in her life. There is nothing, listen, that's why we give on so much. We're not satisfied, let's be honest. Pastor, give on. If me ever talk about pastor, you say, forgive me, Father, because I have sinned. Yeah? Pastor get bun to everybody, I do it underneath the cover. Church choirs are doing it too. So make we be real about the sex thing. If you don't get a come, you will go exploring. Okay, you're not satisfied. Dora is gonna explore. Yeah? And that's all I want to say. Sex, you have to have a come, man. If you don't have a come, you're gonna give on. I've never been faithful in my life. And that's why I'm single, because now I think I can be faithful. But Dora within me telling me, Shalom, you can't. I've always gave on. You understand? Because one man alone could not satisfy moi. You understand? When the babies come, I have to put names in a bucket and give to one. Yeah? It is what it is. And that's why they said 80% of Jamaican children are jacket, because people don't want to accept the fact we give on because we are not satisfied. So we go exploring and the man then get the 1 bag of jacket. Let's be real. You understand? When the children are to file for, this is honesty. One of the worst thing in Jamaica right now is the children, the father got to foreign and the children needs a paternity test have to be done. You are not the father of 7 kids. You are not the daddy of 7 kids, right? And it is reality, because guess what? Wine up, bombs come, no come. There is something not satisfied. So you have to go to Mr. John where you're here. Let me tell you a little story. There was this man in my community. No, me not talk about it. I have to go back to my community, right? But
no, that's
this. Okay, then it is like everybody here that he can lick the clit. Ain't nobody, because it was a taboo. If you lick the clit, you can't drink out of nobody glass. That's where I come. Don't drink out of nobody glass. That's how it is. So that girl tell that girl before everybody was having a go. You understand? Everybody was having a go. And this is it. If we're not real, men is going to get children that is not theirs because everything under the counter. Yeah? Every picnic going to look like the pastor in the church because everything, if you're going to some community, anybody watching from my community, not my community, every picnic look like one man in the community. Right? As I said, not my community, guys. Not something don't happen in my community. But every children look like one man in the community. Why? Why do certain children look like the pastor? Why? Let's be real. Okay, I'm done now.
Well, thank you, Shalomi. That Shalomi had you come back to take the mic. Tony had it, but tonight, Shalomi,
the mic is shattered.
Chastity coming.
The mic is shattered.
Yes.
Mic business.
Oh, I was gonna crack the joke. Shalom said how everybody looked like the pastor. The pastor had to lay hands on them, but I'm gonna go to the next comment.
Oh Lord.
I'm sorry, I thought I cracked. What I was gonna say too, and it brought to the point of what Shalomi is saying, and she's saying that she's single because she knows she can't be faithful. I think we also, as Black and brown people, need to get out of the mindset that monogamy is the only way, right? Monogamy is the default for our relationship and love styles, right? But we now know, and there's enough information and research and all these things out there, that monogamy is not for everybody. There are certain people who are not cut out for it, right? Just not. And so they get into marriages, they get into relationships, and they are consistently unfaithful. There are consensual non-monogamous relationships. There are polyamorous relationships in love. There are amazing dynamics and formations that one can have. So I think when we think about relationships and we're thinking about being faithful, you can have more than one partner and still be faithful. You go by what terms, conditions, boundaries, or expectations that you and your partner put out there. So I just want to put that out there. Monogamy is the default for Black and brown folks. It is not the only option, and we now understand that that's not. So Shalom, you can be in a relationship. You can have several relationships and do several bonds. I don't know, you know, you can have sex with multiple people if that's what you and your partners agree on. I say have fun and stay safe.
Thank you for that. I mean, we're coming down to the last 9 minutes of the show. And we're going to be continuing this conversation on next week. Chastity, I'm calling you Charity. Chastity, I am inviting you back on next week. We're going to have a male sex therapist as well, because we want to have the balance right for the men as well. And then the following week, we've got another female sex therapist coming on as well. And I'm looking for another male. So we'll have 2 of each as we go along. And I do want to explore the sexual spirituality of sex and look into that as well. So we're going to do a show on that. So Kim, I'd like to invite you back onto that show when we do that as well. Okay, so this has been a lot. There's been a lot of different dynamics this show today. It has been a lot, and I think we'll have the women in earlier next week to get their viewpoints as the men had theirs this week. So guys, what is the takeaways from this week? Oh, there was something. Stephen Morgan had said something. Hold on. He said something about men. It was quite a long message. He said they need time. If we can bring that back up onto the screen. He said men need to have a little bit of time after they've had an orgasm. I saw that come up.
It says most men need a break after orgasm, and the break time varies for older men from 20 minutes upwards, which is not right. That's not true. And the lady can help with the recommencement of proceedings, which is true.
Yeah, and that's
maybe not ever ready, Bunny.
Yeah, I think I think as a general term, I think it probably is true. Tony, you may be the exception to the rule. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Not everybody wants.
I don't know, because I don't know. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying that, you're where you are and where other men are is a different thing.
I don't think I'm that much different to a lot of men. I really don't. I really don't want people to think that I'm some kind of cyclops of a man that can go for 3-4 hours and get it up for X amount of time. I'm not alone.
That's what you sold it as. That's what we're buying it as.
Listen,
deliver it as that.
Tony, in this community, it appears that you are on your own in this community.
Remember, Yvonne, I have 40 men that listen to this show that will message me tomorrow.
They need to message here.
They need to come here.
They need to come here and message.
But they've invited the women to come into our group.
And we're coming next week.
We're coming next week. And you'll see, I'm not alone.
But you know what? The guys, what I will say to those guys who are listening in, they don't have to be on the panel.
The panel.
Talking on Facebook is or YouTube. the thing is, come on YouTube, send them on the YouTube, because the thread goes. So if it's a matter of they don't want to be seen or known, the actual comments on YouTube disappear. So if they want to come and contribute, which they should, they are welcome to come onto YouTube. But
So
right now, in
Jeanette,
this community, you're on your own. That's how it is. So listen, guys, we're coming up.
Simone
We've got
Gordon agrees with me.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
JJ Jax agrees with me.
What, that you that's 2 people out of how many hundreds of people that are watching.
All right.
Right? But what I'm saying is, like JJ saying, my ex was a 4-hour man, which is fine. She is saying that. And I'm not saying it's exclusive.
He was not a cyclops.
What I'm saying is in this community, Tony, where the men are speaking and the men are vocal, you're on your own.
And there's more than one Cyclops. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. So, guys, we have come down to the end. Simone's saying 20 minutes is long. I could cook a meal in that time. That's what she said.
20 minutes is long.
Right. Are you agreeing with that?
Yeah. 20
Yeah.
minutes is a long time,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I can, that's a power nap for me. I can sleep and wake up and I'm good, man. 20 minutes is a long time, man.
Right.
Wow. Don't let me lie down for 20 minutes. I won't wake up till the morning. Crazy. I'm out. Don't let me lie down for too long. I'll fall asleep.
Right.
20 minutes is too long. Oh, my takeaway is I need to trust with the tie-up. And that's my takeaway for today. I need to trust with the tie-up.
Brilliant. Thank you,
Yes,
Theo.
my boy.
Thank you,
The tie-up.
Theo.
I'm gonna bring the rope out next video. Just
Right. You've literally
Bring
got
it.
Bring
Where
it.
are you in America? That's cool. Bring it and leave it there, yeah?
Listen, guys, we've literally got 4 minutes. You've got like a second to say what your takeaway. No long-winded, no explaining. What was the takeaway?
The takeaway is, this is what I think a lot of guys are like me, that I associate with these guys. A queen in the streets, a freak in the sheets.
Okay. You said that at the beginning, and I think there are many women in here that are that way. Kellyanne, give me your 1 second. That's it. Quick.
He gone. I'm dead.
He's
He
out.
needs 20 minutes. He needs 20 minutes.
Okay. Right. Karen, what's your 1 second? Quick.
I need to read more. I need to read more, not just watch, but read.
Not watch, but read. Okay. Michelle and Herbie.
Okay.
Keep doing what I'm doing, and experiment a little bit more.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and I need to stop the hesitant and just go for it, you know. And just for the record, I prefer like a long charge. So I like a good kind of. So I made a comment earlier about this knockout sleep thing and get up in the morning. That works for me.
Likes a
full charge. Yeah. And then
Okay.
All right.
Right, you like the full charge. Right. Kim, what we saying?
I think it's fascinating to see all the different perspectives, but I do wish we would do more on spirituality, because I feel like energy is expended. A lot of spiritual energy is expended when we are intimate, and not, I'm not saying it in terms of the framework of monogamy or polygamy or polygyny or polyandry. I'm just saying it as human to human, because we always kind of get all these isms, schisms and things. Sex is a beautiful thing when it is between consenting adults and they enjoy each other. And I feel like spirituality is a big key to it.
Absolutely. I think that's that side of it. So next week is the 3rd week. So that's week 4. Right? Remind me, please. Do remind me. That's week 4, spirituality.
And we shouldn't let people like JB demonize it.
Oh, no. I ain't got time for that. People have their opinions. I'm happy for people to have their opinions, but I ain't got time for that. Have I spoken to Shalomi's the last one? Shalomi.
I'm going to say, damn if you do. Damn if you do. Damn if you down, swing on a chandelier if you have to fart in their head, whosoever wanna talk, pee in their head, do you. Because at the end of the day, they're going to talk. They're eating on the table, under the table, but you're eating off the table and they're intimidated by it. So yeah, I'm gorgeous. Yeah, anyway, you just do you.
Thank you, Shalomi. Shalomi.
Yes,
Chastity, come in. Come in.
I
A
love her.
word.
I completely utterly agree with Kim. I'm actually taking my cosmic sexuality certification right now. So I'm learning about all those things, and it is definitely a powerful tool. That's when you have sex magic, by the way. And I want to say Shalomi is probably one of my favorite people. The one thing I would say, the biggest takeaway is let's be more open to listening and to honoring where other people are in this space, and don't yuck someone else's yum.
Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to Chastity for being here. Chastity, can you come back next week? Can you come back? Thank you very much. Listen, guys, I just want to thank you all for joining. We've come to the end of the show. This is the After Dark show, and this is all about relationships. And we do go behind the black curtain. We do discuss things that not many people want to discuss. And we will be discussing sexual spirituality as well as other things. In the next coming weeks, I will be going into the studio. Yes, I will be going into the studio. We're going to be looking at sex toys as well. We're going fully merged over the next few weeks. So this is what we're going to be doing. But I do want to thank you for joining. Those of you who are on Facebook, those of you who are on YouTube, I want to thank you for joining us this evening. And my final thoughts are this. And this is one thing that I think we've managed to do better this week than any other week, and that's listen to each other and take on board our own kind of preferences and accept what each individual has for themselves. And I want us to continue to do that. I want us to continue to talk to each other, listen to each other, learn from each other, that we can evolve and thrive as human beings. So guys, I want to wish you well. I want to thank you for being here once again. Do remember to join us again next week between the hours of 10 and midnight. Also, remember, those of you who like a bit of inspiration, do join me tomorrow morning. I am live here, the same place, for morning inspiration. Do join me at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. But for now, stay safe. God bless. Ciao, ciao. Good night.
You got me running, got me running.